We have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlyn Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, white girl.
The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner seemingly uttering profanities about white girls.
Brittney Griner just managed to do the unthinkable, spark controversy for all the wrong reasons by unleashing a shocking verbal assault on Caitlyn Clark, allegedly calling her a trash white girl during a game broadcast live on TV.
Brittney Griner appeared to call Caitlyn Clark trash and effing white girl.
Brittney Griner appeared to call Caitlyn Clark trash and effing white girl. Now the internet is erupting. Fans are demanding disciplinary action, and wild rumors about Griner's private life are resurfacing faster than you can say technical foul.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
If you've got Caitlyn Clark's back, now's the moment. Drop an I stand with CC in the comments to show some real love and support for the queen of the court.
She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlyn Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlyn Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlyn Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlyn?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Things had been tense in the league for a while, but Griner took that tension and turned it into a live-action meltdown. After fouling out of a hard-fought game, cameras caught Griner walking off the court where she visibly mouthed the words, "trash effing white girl." And yes, it was crystal clear.
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash white girl. Trash. Blanking white girl is what she said.
That clip spread across the internet faster than a half-court buzzer beater. This wasn't just standard trash talk. It was harsh. It was targeted, and it carried layers of hate baked into it. Even seasoned analysts were stunned. Skip Bayless didn't hold back. He said plainly that if a white player had used a racial slur on national television, their career would be over by lunchtime.
Is the WNBA okay with one of its players saying white girl on the bench and getting caught by TV cameras saying such? I guess they are. I guess they're okay with it. Obviously, the league would very much not be okay with a white player saying black girl on the bench in anger and getting caught by TV cameras. That would be an immediate suspension, if not a career ender for said white girl.
Yet, when Griner did it, nothing. No fine, no suspension, not even a formal warning issued. The silence was louder than a missed free throw in an empty gym, and fans weren't having it.
But it is completely possible that white girl was about Caitlyn Clark's popularity, about her stature, about her impact on the entire league.
Let's be honest. Caitlyn Clark has faced this kind of hostility since her first WNBA warm-up. She's been pushed, shoved, knocked around, not because she plays dirty, but because she's dominant. And yeah, let's not pretend race isn't a factor here too.
She has been abused repeatedly. We have shown you videos, just getting elbowed, getting crushed, inbound passes where they ram into her, just absolutely abused, and there clearly is a racial element to it.
Griner's outburst didn't come out of nowhere. It was the latest in a troubling pattern. This wasn't a moment of passion. It was a calculated, venom-filled insult broadcast to the world. And from a league that loves to say no place for hate, their silence is deafening when the hate's aimed at Clark.
The WNBA has come out numerous times. There's no place for hate. There's no place for racism.
And now the fan base wants answers. They want to know why the league shrugged this off like a missed layup. Why is Brittney Griner being protected from consequences when she clearly crossed the line on national television? Let's flip the script. What if Caitlyn Clark had said the same thing?
The league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl.
Imagine Caitlyn Clark calling Griner a trash black girl on live TV. It would have sparked media meltdowns, non-stop news coverage, league-wide statements, and likely a lifetime ban from basketball. No debate, done and dusted.
Let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's going on across the league also.
Skip Bayless hit the nail on the head again. He said any white player making that kind of remark would be destroyed by the media. But Griner, she gets a pass as if she accidentally stepped out of bounds.
Griner referring quite clearly, I believe, to Caitlyn Clark and a white referee as, quote, trash ass white girls.
And when commentators tried to defend, twisting her words into bad call, please. The footage is as clear as Clark's three-point shot. Fans, lip readers, and even neutral reporters confirmed what they saw. Yet the league is acting like someone just forgot to turn up the volume. It's that kind of selective outrage that's corroding the WNBA from within.
If you are a straight white woman in the WNBA, there is no way that you feel completely safe.
The same organization that rushed to investigate Indiana Fever fans after vague, unverified allegations about Angel Reese is suddenly blind, deaf, and mute when an actual player hurls a racist insult. Make that make sense.
The noise that's coming.
I don't appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against. Because yeah, those might be opponents, but those are friends too. You know, they don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans that think it's okay to do that.
This isn't new for Clark. She's been the league's favorite punching bag since day one. Not because she talks trash or flops for calls, but because she's great, she's white, and she's stealing the spotlight from players who think seniority grants immunity. Angel Reese even reposted a meme showing Clark running scared from a fight, captioned, "White girl running from the fade," like she's trying to start a beef mixtape. And that's not fan content. Reese posted it herself.
Image that she reposted. And the implication is, well, what it says at the top is white, this is how they say girl, G-Y, white gal, G-Y-A-L, running from the fade, like as if Caitlyn Clark.
And the hits keep coming. Players have slapped her in the face, shoved her mid-play, and treated every hard foul like they just won the finals. Yet Clark never reacts. No dirty plays, no cheap shots, just basketball brilliance on full display while facing more hostility than any rookie ever has.
Caitlyn Clark got roughed up repeatedly by defenders throughout her rookie year last year. It was attempted bullying, trying to break her spirit, intimidate her, put her in her place, get even with her for all the attention she was getting.
And here's the reality check. Every time Caitlyn Clark takes a hit, she's expected to zip it and smile, play nice, take the high road. Never mind that she's the one being shoved, slammed, and now verbally assaulted. While she's held to impossible standards, the same media that should defend her is busy applauding her antagonists. The message is loud and clear. Some players get a pass, and Clark gets a target on her back. The league talks about growing the game, but ignoring what's happening to Clark is exactly what's shrinking it.
Please welcome to the show, Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn, did you ever
What's
think
up,
you'd
guys?
be back? Cheers.
Excited to be back.
Cheers.
Don't worry. I got this nice throwback Gatorade can.
Well played.
Caitlyn Clark just surprised everyone in a way no one expected, doing it live on Zoom during an unfiltered interview with WNBA icons Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. From the moment she appeared on screen, it was obvious this wouldn't be your usual heartwarming segment. It was unvarnished, authentic, and gave a behind-the-scenes look at everything from her transition to the WNBA to locker room gossip, to the intense rivalries in those tough college games. And, of course, it all came with Caitlyn's trademark wit and charisma.
Product placement.
There we
Will
go.
Our show loves it. Our show loves it.
So, what exactly did Caitlyn Clark spill, and why is the basketball world buzzing? Stick around, because Caitlyn didn't hold back on a lot of juicy details. Everything from Paige Beckers to Diana Taurasi, and even calling out the unfounded rumors Cheryl Swoops has been spreading about the team. Ready for it? Let's dive in. It was the moment that shook the internet. 1 year ago, Diana Taurasi stared into the camera and delivered a now iconic warning to Caitlyn Clark. Reality is coming. Remember that?
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
Fast forward to this year, and let's just say Diana's words didn't quite hold up. Caitlyn's response? A sly smirk, a slight nod, and a confident smile. The vibe was electric, sharp, playful, and full of wit. But don't be fooled, it was also a statement.
Congrats on your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats
now,
you.
Unfortunately, reality is coming to me now.
What's your big plans? What are you going to do?
I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
Get to 10 years.
For Diana Taurasi, sharing the court with Caitlyn Clark wasn't just another game. It was a moment for the ages. Looking back on their first matchup in Phoenix, Taurasi didn't mince words about the atmosphere. It felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. The crowd was electric, the hype was real, and it wasn't just about basketball. It was about seeing a torch being passed right before our eyes, she shared. Diana spoke with deep respect, reflecting on how surreal it was to finally face the players she'd been watching dominate college basketball for years.
What was it like for you two to play against each other?
It was amazing. I've been following Caitlyn for so long and been watching her college career just in awe, and to be on the court and the first game was in Phoenix, and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlyn and our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlyn, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot,
Caitlyn's perspective? Just as classy, but with her signature edge. She remembered that Phoenix game too. Except for her, it was personal. We were down by like 10 or 15 and came all the way back to win, she recalled, pride clear in her voice. That comeback wasn't just another line on the scoreboard, it was a defining moment for her and her team. Battling against a legend like Taurasi and coming out victorious? That's the kind of experience that builds confidence. And Caitlyn made sure everyone knew it.
And what it was like to play against D.
Well, I was saying, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time. And it was before Olympic break. Obviously, we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down like 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was like our first win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Beneath all the fierce competition, there was a deep mutual respect. The moment transcended being just another game. It became a clash of eras, unfolding right before our eyes. While Caitlyn and Diana might be at different points in their careers, the impact they're both having, that's something that will last forever. As they laughed and joked about the experience, it was clear. This wasn't just playful banter, it was basketball's past and future coming together in perfect harmony.
Caitlyn, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who Sue knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but when you see that and you see those names come in, what does what does that make you feel like?
Caitlyn Clark is heading into the new WNBA season with more than just momentum. She's bringing the heat. When talking about her revamped roster, her excitement was impossible to miss. With new head coach Stephanie White, seasoned veterans like Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner, sharpshooters like Sophie Cunningham, and defensive powerhouses like Sydney Colson and Brianna Turner, Caitlyn knows the talent on her team. But she's also aware of the challenges ahead. With 7 new players and a tight timeline to build chemistry, Caitlyn's already in full figure-it-out mode, and she's ready to tackle it head-on.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but you know, you only have, I mean, we start training camp, I think, on the 27th, and then, like, we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th. So it's like, you have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, like, more than half of our roster, like, that's, you know, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good, and, like, I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, you know, we added a lot more experience. Like, in the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group.
And it's not just her mental game that's been getting stronger, her physical game has leveled up too. When asked about that viral off-season photo where her arms looked noticeably more defined, Caitlyn couldn't help but laugh.
And there was the viral picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened there?
Like, how did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control. Come on.
Caitlyn Clark wasn't just hitting the weight room to look good in a photo. She was preparing to become an even more dominant force on the court. Every hour spent in the gym was about strengthening her body to match her fierce mentality. It wasn't just about bulking up. It was about becoming more powerful, more relentless, and untouchable when the game was on the line. But Caitlyn didn't stop at physical strength. She refined her entire skill set. She focused on adding a floater to her arsenal, powering through contact at the rim, and mastering the mid-range game. This wasn't casual training. It was a deliberate plan to evolve into an unguardable offensive weapon. Caitlyn isn't just preparing to keep up with the competition, she's training to take over. Every move, every shot, was with the intention of dominating in ways we've never seen before.
Indiana Fever preseason has officially come, and it has officially gone.
The Indiana Fever did finish the WNBA preseason undefeated.
Caitlyn Clark is launching shots from ranges that seem almost illegal for a basketball court, while Lexi Hull continues to carve out a reputation as the Fever's go-to weapon in crunch time. As one insider put it, I think Caitlyn Clark may have even extended her range. She's making those deep shots look effortless.
The Indiana Fever close out the preseason 3-0, victory against the Mystics, victory against the Brazilian national team, and another victory this afternoon against the Atlanta Dream.
In their final preseason matchup, the Fever wrapped up an undefeated 3-0 run, but not without some tense moments. A concerning injury to a core player and unexpected remarks from their Atlanta Dream rivals added drama to the win. From standout performances to surprising twists, here's the full breakdown of how Indiana closed out their perfect preseason in Atlanta.
When I watch the Fever, even when they're not at their best, one thing I can't help but think is that they're just going to run teams off the floor and destroy them with their firepower. They just have so many players that can beat you and can score. And, you know, DeWanna Bonner didn't even start this game. Sophie Cunningham started in her place.
Did you know Caitlyn Clark was nearly sidelined for the Fever's final preseason game? Less than 24 hours before tip-off against the Atlanta Dream, Fever fans were anxiously refreshing their social media feeds, desperate for updates. The reason? Clark had collided with a practice player during the team's final workout, striking the same leg that had already been strained. The news took everyone by surprise.
They're just doing a drill, and if you're looking what happens here. Caitlyn Clark pulls up. Caitlyn Clark pulls up immediately. And a lot of people are saying that it's not the end of the world.
Picture the scene. The Fever's medical staff hurrying to assess their star rookie as the team's perfect preseason record hung in the balance. 2 wins, 0 losses, and now their top player was on the bench, ice pack on her leg. Fans began to worry if this was a sign of things to come. Was the pressure of the pro game already setting in? As the medical team conducted their evaluation, social media lit up with speculation. Would Clark miss the final preseason game? Could this affect her readiness for the regular season opener? With every minute, the questions only grew.
Coach just mentioned you've been limited in practice this week. Just how are you kind of working back from that leg injury?
Yeah, I think taking my time. I feel really good, honestly, and excited to get out there and play again tomorrow. Work on things that we need to work on, and yeah, Maria's been great. Our medical staff has been really helpful. But I feel really good, honestly.
Then came the announcement that sent a wave of relief through the Fever fan base. Clark was cleared to play. Not only would she suit up, but she'd be in the starting lineup. Just like that, the injury scare faded into the background, becoming a footnote instead of the headline.
There's no reason to overdo anything right now. It's been the beginning of the season. Still don't play here for another week, the last 2 days have been really, really good for myself.
You weren't started? What caused it to get her?
I don't. Probably just a little too much basketball. I think, I love being in the gym, but I think understanding when to be in the gym and, when to recover and things like that. So I think just finding a balance and obviously just getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was nothing major or anything like that.
From the opening moments, it was obvious Clark wasn't holding back. She fired off shots from distances that left defenders looking powerless. WNBA analyst Robin Lundberg of Sports Illustrated took to X with a bold observation. I think Caitlyn Clark may have even increased her range. She is shooting the deep ones like they are nothing.
Guards it. So second attempt, same spot, same result for Maya Caldwell. That's Caitlyn Clark, top of the key, and drains her first triple of...
One particular three-pointer, launched from near the logo, instantly brought back memories of Clark's iconic shot just a week earlier at Iowa. Atlanta's defenders could do little more than watch as the ball soared high and splashed cleanly through the net. This wasn't just a rookie easing into the pro game. This was Caitlyn Clark making a statement. By the final buzzer, she had silenced all doubts, finishing with 13 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds in just 23 minutes.
Natasha Howard gets the bucket. Step back triple. Delphi Mitchell to the rim. Well, that's Caitlyn Clark, top of the key, and drains her triple.
As the final buzzer sealed an 81-76 win over Atlanta, the Fever had done something noteworthy, a flawless 3-0 preseason sweep. What began with a scare ended with rising optimism about what this team could accomplish once the real games begin. With the score tight heading into the fourth, an unexpected hero stepped up for Indiana, and it wasn't Caitlyn Clark. The spotlight turned to Lexi Hull, who had been steadily refining her game all preseason while adapting to a new role off the bench. It's worth noting that Hull closed out last season as a starter, proving to be a dependable two-way player, and, during that stretch, the league's hottest three-point shooter.
And now BG says she's rediscovered her love for the game, saying Atlanta reminds me of home. I'm back in the South, and this was the best decision of my life.
She is completely fine, just needing rest, so we will not see her for the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, we can't give out all our weapons.
Turnover as Matt Caldwell got a little too deep in.
However, with the arrival of new all-star free agent additions, Hull has embraced a bench role this season. But in this game, something felt different. There was a new confidence in her stride, a sharpness in her movements that turned heads. This wasn't the same player fans had seen before. This was someone poised to take over.
I think more than anything, just being able to practice with our team. We're getting a lot of good reps in practice, and I think confidence comes from that. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps, over and over again in practice. And our team's super competitive. So every single day that we've had of training camp so far has felt pretty much game-like. Like, we're all taking it very serious, and it starts in practice.
The Atlanta Dream kept pressing, challenging the Fever on every possession and putting their perfect preseason run in jeopardy. The tension inside the arena was palpable. Would Indiana's spotless record hold up? That's when Hull stepped up and took control. When the Fever needed offense the most, she answered with striking efficiency, slicing through defenders as if the lanes appeared just for her. She pulled up for contested mid-range jumpers like the defense wasn't even there. One standout moment saw her split 2 Dream defenders and glide in for a smooth finish at the rim.
It's like, nah, shoot that thing when you open. Lexi Hull getting downhill, finds the bucket and one, as this will be the largest lead for Indiana.
Her impact extended far beyond the scoreboard. Hull's defensive energy disrupted Atlanta's rhythm, forcing turnovers and sparking fast break chances. Her court vision consistently set up teammates for easy looks. The Dream had no answer for Hull's relentless effort in the closing minutes. After the game, head coach Stephanie White offered a glimpse into Hull's growth, shedding light on what fans had just witnessed. When you accept your role, as Lexi does, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? White said, emphasizing how Hull had fully embraced her responsibilities while continuing to elevate her overall game.
Lexi's playing with such a high level of confidence. You know, you saw that the second half of last season, her starting to grow into that. I think you saw it a lot in Unrivaled as well. It unlocked, I think, a little bit of creativity. You know, I think sometimes when you're a young player in this league, you know, when you accept your role, as Lexi does, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like, you still, your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career.
White highlighted Hull's growing creativity and the team's rising confidence in her decision-making. She's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that, the coach noted, clearly proud of Hull's development. Hull, in turn, credited the team's competitive practice environment for her clutch performance. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps, over and over again in practice, she explained. She also pointed to her experience winning a championship in the Elite 3-on-3 League, which she said helped sharpen both her defensive instincts and one-on-one skills.
That it's going to be an exciting season. I think more than anything, we're a deep team, and I think everyone's really bought into trusting the process. This season, you know, it might not start off super pretty, but we know that putting in the work, putting in, you know, trust into the coaching staff, trust in each other, that by the end of the season we'll be exactly where we want to be. So just excited, you know, with the progress we've made even over just 3 games.
By the final buzzer, Hull had gone from role player to game changer, dropping 11 of her 14 points in the pivotal fourth quarter to help seal the victory. The stat sheet backed it up. Hull scoring under pressure was exactly what the Fever needed to close out the game. Her performance wasn't just impressive, it may very well reshape the entire dynamic of Indiana's rotation heading into the regular season.
Lexi does. You can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like, you still, your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career. So you want to be able to stretch and expand. And I think Lexi's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that. You know, running actions for her, you know, allowing her to decision make. Hell, I think in the Washington game we had her playing some point. You know, so it's a tribute to the work that she's put in, the confidence that she's built with her discipline and work ethic in the off season. And you trust her on the floor. You trust her to make the right play and make the right read.
With Hull emerging as a dependable clutch performer off the bench, the Fever suddenly looked much deeper than many had anticipated. In a single game, she may have shifted from being a valuable contributor to becoming an exclamation point in Indiana's push to make a statement this season. But the game wasn't without its tense moments, one of which showed a side of Caitlyn Clark that fans hope they rarely have to see. Midway through the second quarter, Clark drew attention for something other than her signature shooting. She picked up a technical foul, a moment that revealed just how fiercely competitive she truly is.
make it 12-3 run as they are now just down 1 point.
Picture the moment. Clark fires a bounce pass, only to see it intercepted by the Dream and turned into a fast break layup by Brianna Jones. Clark clearly felt there should have been a foul on the play. Her frustration erupted. She grabbed the ball and fired it against the base of the hoop. The whistle was immediate. Technical foul on Clark, her first of the preseason. What happened next spoke volumes about the team chemistry already taking shape in Indiana. Sophie Cunningham, known for her own intense competitive spirit, stepped in as the calming force. As Clark continued to argue with the refs, Cunningham quickly pulled her aside, defusing the situation before it escalated. In that moment, she took on the role of veteran protector, ensuring the rookie star didn't land in deeper trouble.
Cunningham actually stepped on somebody's foot and turned her ankle and had to leave the game.
Here's where things took a turn. Not long after stepping in to calm Clark, Cunningham found herself in a tough spot of her own. In the third quarter, she leapt for a rebound and came down awkwardly on Ryan Howard's foot. The moment she landed, it was clear something was wrong. Cunningham dropped to the court, then limped over to the Fever bench, visibly in pain. The injury was later diagnosed as a right ankle issue, and she was listed as doubtful to return.
Hopefully the Fever are fully healthy going into that game. Hopefully Sophie Cunningham is good to go in that game. I know she was seen in a walking boot afterwards, but that's typical. It clearly wasn't a serious injury, but it doesn't mean it's going to be healthy a week from today either.
Fever fans held their breath. Could this injury affect the team's regular season outlook? Post-game, Coach Stephanie White offered some reassurance, sharing that Cunningham had told her, "I'll be fine." White added that Cunningham was already in a cold tub after the game, indicating the team was taking swift action to jumpstart recovery. Still, no official testing had been done on the ankle yet, leaving a bit of uncertainty as the season opener approaches.
I don't think so. She was in there getting it in a cold tub, so she keeps saying I'll be fine, so I trust her.
Despite the tense and concerning moments, the game also showcased powerful acts of sportsmanship, reminding everyone what makes certain teams stand out. Before and after the final buzzer, players from both sides exchanged genuine gestures of respect. Hugs and heartfelt conversations between opponents proved that intense competition doesn't have to come at the expense of real connection. One especially meaningful moment, captured on camera, came between Caitlyn Clark and Brittney Griner. Though the two stars spent little time on the court together, they shared a warm embrace after the game. Fans took notice, with one commenting, "Great respect from Clark and Griner." These subtle exchanges play a big role in shaping the culture of the league. The technical foul on Clark revealed more than just frustration. It showed the depth of her competitive fire and the strength of the Fever's team chemistry. We saw a rookie who refuses to back down, surrounded by veterans who know how to guide that intensity. At the same time, Cunningham's injury left fans wondering whether she'll be available for the season opener against Chicago.
We did a better job of taking care of the ball in the second half. I was disappointed that we had 10 first half turnovers. A lot of them were trying to force things that just weren't there. I didn't feel like we were patient enough to get into our offense. So we did a better job of taking care of the ball. I always love when we have a high assist to made field goal ratio. I think we're going to find a lot of success when that happens for us. Quality depth, they came in and made impact, no doubt. And being able to, hold the team to 34% from the field. All points of emphasis for us. And even though it's not always that pretty, it's progress, and that's what we need.
These moments of drama and sportsmanship captured the essence of what makes the WNBA truly special, an elite level of competition paired with authentic respect. The Fever showed they have the intensity to contend at the highest level without losing the class and camaraderie that strengthen relationships across the league. Fans didn't just witness standout performances, they saw a team beginning to shape its identity, competitive, passionate, and grounded in respect for the game and its opponents. The preseason has come to a close, and the Indiana Fever have officially put the league on alert with their flawless 3-0 record. But this isn't just about winning exhibition games. It's about catching early glimpses of something special taking shape in Indiana, perhaps earlier than anyone expected. The chemistry between Clark, Hull, Boston, Mitchell, and the rest of the roster has at times looked seamless. Now, the real test begins. Can this momentum carry into the grind of the regular season? Teams around the league have been analyzing film, especially on Clark, crafting tailored defensive schemes designed to throw her off rhythm and reduce her impact.
Just like that, Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA, the team owners, the Players Association, in the split of an instance, all of it can change. In a split instance, all of it can change. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight.
The WNBA assumed they could push Caitlyn Clark around every night, and fans would simply applaud like it was a middle school halftime show. Well, surprise twist, after Clark took a hard hit like it was Game 7 of the NHL Finals, fans aren't just upset, they're boycotting like it's Black Friday and the referees lost their coupons. The league encouraged physicality, but now it's facing a full-court protest. Who knew the road to equality meant throwing elbows at your MVP's ticket sales? Get ready as we dive straight into this unfolding saga.
It was just announced that Caitlyn Clark will be out a minimum of 2 weeks with a quad injury. Could this injury have been prevented? Can the Indiana Fever win without her? And what does this mean for the WNBA?
Oh, the WNBA believed it was heading into a peaceful, drama-free season. How cute. Just when everything looked perfect, ratings climbing, jerseys selling fast, and every Fever game feeling like a Taylor Swift show. Boom. Caitlyn Clark's team had different ideas. Now she's sidelined. Fans are reacting like the Earth slipped from its orbit, and the WNBA is quietly scrambling behind the scenes while pretending all is well. It's not.
Get in the back. We know Caitlyn Clark was lost yesterday to an injury for at least 2 weeks. Now, the thing about it is they're going to reevaluate in 2 weeks. And of course, man, these teams, I told you earlier, these WNBA franchises that move games like the Chicago Sky to the, United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked. Nobody is going to show up to this thing. Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent.
2 weeks. That's how long Clark is sidelined with a strained quadriceps. Not a tear, not a break, but enough to turn the league's story completely around. Her thigh basically clocked out early, and the Fever's star player is now resting on the bench, while the WNBA struggles to keep the spotlight. And the reactions? Oh, they've been anything but subtle. If subtle means a total public meltdown, then yes. Clark's fans, the most passionate merch-wearing Twitter cackalock supporters since the Michael Jordan era, are already organizing emotional walkouts. They've turned a minor injury into a full-blown revolution. I'm done watching until Clark's back. This league isn't worth it without her. Boycott the WNBA. These folks are acting like the league personally slapped their grandma and stole their dog. Meanwhile, every other player is out here saying, hey, we exist too. And the internet's reply? Not now, sweetie.
It's the latter. It could mean that Caitlyn Clark could potentially miss the rest of the season. This 2-week timetable that people are running with, that's just when Caitlyn Clark is going to be reevaluated. As of now, she will be reevaluated on June 9th. That does not mean, and it's highly unlikely, that June 9th or shortly thereafter is when Caitlyn Clark is cleared to return.
And Indiana? Well, they're suddenly realizing what life feels like without their golden goose. The Caitlyn Clark show is temporarily off the air. Now, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell are trying to keep the whole franchise together with duct tape and pure hustle. Mitchell's playing like she's got 3 lungs. Boston's rebounding like she's battling ghosts. And Coach Stephanie White is rewriting game plans like she's in the Hunger Games. Yet somehow, the Fever might actually stay afloat. Why? Because the next few games are against teams that have been about as threatening as lukewarm soup. No offense, Chicago Sky. Okay, maybe a little offense. But let's be real. The most entertaining part of the WNBA isn't the scoreboard, the highlight reels, or even the actual basketball. It's watching the league pretend the party's still on when the life of that party, Caitlyn Clark, just got benched. Before her injury, Clark wasn't just in the MVP talk, she was the talk. Sure, some acted like she was a long shot, like she was only good for a rookie, but that's like saying Beyoncé is just okay for a singer. Please. Caitlyn wasn't just putting up stats. She was dragging an entire franchise back into the spotlight like a one-woman rescue mission. She had the ratings, the sellouts, the celebrity shoutouts, the screaming fans, and the nosebleeds decked out in homemade jerseys with glitter glue. She didn't just bring excitement, she single-handedly rebooted the WNBA's algorithm. We're talking record-breaking views, arenas that suddenly remembered what full feels like, and merch flying off shelves faster than Taylor Swift tickets. Now, the Queen is temporarily off the board, and everyone's pretending this MVP race is suddenly wide open, like the rest of the league wasn't just orbiting her gravitational pull 5 minutes ago. Cute.
Breaking WNBA news. Caitlyn Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks with a quad strain, and our next question is, what does this mean for the Fever? So Cece is going to be missing the second Sky rematch since playing them the first weekend of the season, which is definitely a bummer, but on the bright side, this injury doesn't seem too bad, it's just some quad tightness. But fear not, Fever fans. We talked to Caitlyn earlier this month, and she doesn't seem too worried about the depth of this roster.
Meanwhile, back in Indiana, the Fever are quietly figuring things out, and they might actually come out stronger. Because without Clark doing literally everything, the rest of the team is stepping up. And when she returns, rested, focused, and absolutely done with all the noise, buckle up. Picture Clark storming back onto the court, draining threes from the parking lot and silencing every doubter who wrote her off after 2 weeks of quad rehab. That's not just a comeback, it's an encore. And here's the real kicker. If the Fever can survive this stretch, stay competitive, maybe even snag a few sneaky wins, they're going to be a serious problem. Because with Clark healthy, Boston confident, and Mitchell fired up, you're looking at a potential playoff spoiler with the momentum of a freight train. So, yes, Caitlyn Clark is temporarily injured, but the WNBA is still rolling. Maybe louder than ever, because now, every storyline is heating up at once. MVP drama, rising stars, fan feuds, conspiracy theories, and Clark's eventual comeback tour.
Just as I started talking about Caitlyn Clark being in the MVP race, it is announced that she suffered a left quad injury and she is going to miss at least 2 weeks. And this is such a bummer because the Fever were off to a great start this season. Caitlyn Clark was playing out of her mind. She had already broken some records in the first 3 games, and now she's going to be sidelined for 2 weeks. We'll see how the team will hold up without her. Obviously, she's the primary ball handler, playmaker, and shot maker. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can sustain and just hold even at 500 or better, and she can get back and keep them in playoff contention.
So to all the fans boycotting the league until their basketball messiah returns, here's a reality check. Without Caitlyn, watching the WNBA feels like tuning in after the main act has left the stage. Sure, the league is full of talent, but without her, the spark's missing, the energy's flat, and the drama's lukewarm at best. Go ahead, rage tweet from your Clark-themed beanbag. Because the WNBA isn't evolving, it's surviving. And when she's back, it won't just be basketball. It'll be the show we've all been waiting for.